Where's my boathouse? That's what she screamed from the shoreline at 6 in the morning, hair wild, slippers still on, like a raccoon just realized someone stole her trash can. That woman, let's call her Denise, the new HOA president with a god complex, actually moved into my grandfather's old boathouse while I was gone for work. Moved in, y'all, with furniture, curtains, scented candles, the whole spa package. And when I kicked her out, she called 911 and claimed I assaulted her. Yeah, that happened. See, I tried to keep my cool at first. I really did. I even gave her a chance to explain. Maybe she got confused, wandered in looking for her lost soul or something. But no, Denise came prepared, clipboard in hand, declaring she had HOA authority over community waterfront assets. Sorry, let me back up a sec. My name's Cole Brennan. I'm a marine engineer. Boats, barges, docks. If it floats and breaks, I fix it. I spend more time on water than land. And this boathouse? My granddad built it in 1952. My wife, Ellie, God rest her soul, used to paint there every Sunday. Her last canvas still hangs by the back window, showing the exact sunrise she'd sit and watch, coffee in hand, toes dipped in the water. That place isn't just wood and nails to me. It's everything I've got left of her. So yeah, I noticed the warning signs when Denise got elected HOA president, but I was grieving, trying to keep myself from falling apart. The emails started coming. The color of the boathouse violated some ridiculous guideline 3.2.1. Then a noise complaint, apparently 2 decibels over the limit at 3 p.m. while I wasn't even home. And then came the measuring tape. 14.7 feet from shore. Regulations say 15. She actually trespassed just to get that number. That's when I put up cameras. 4 of them. Caught every angle. Still, nothing prepared me for what she'd do while I was away. I was on a routine job, 3 days in Eugene doing a hull survey for insurance. I even left a note on my dashboard with my schedule. Denise must have seen it because the moment my truck turned the corner, she was dialing numbers. I found out later she'd been planning this for weeks. She waited till I left, then marched in like she owned the place. Changed the locks, hauled in a love seat and a minibar, started showing it off to neighbors like she was giving HGTV tours. When I got back Friday evening, I knew something was off before I even reached the dock. The lock was different, new, shiny, not mine. I pulled up the security cam feed on my phone, and my blood boiled. There she was, in broad daylight, carrying in throw pillows like she was nesting. Tossed Ellie's framed photo in the trash like it was junk mail. You don't do that. You don't touch a man's memories and expect him to stay civil. I didn't scream. I didn't throw punches. I dragged every piece of her furniture out by hand, one by one, onto the lawn. Mini fridge, ottoman, even a fake potted plant. That's when Denise came charging down, phone out, yelling about property theft. "You're breaking and entering," I said calmly, holding the arm of her velvet couch. She smirked. "I'm the HOA president. I improve community spaces." "This ain't community property," I said, dropping the couch so hard it kicked up dust. "And you damn well know it." The cops showed up. She'd already called them. Tried to spin some tale about me assaulting her. But I had footage, deed papers, everything. The officers took one look and told her flat out she was trespassing and I had every right to press charges. But Denise wasn't done. The next morning, someone taped a bright red notice to my door. Emergency demolition order, 72 hours. She'd filed fake inspection reports, altered photos, forged signatures, environmental hazard claims, the whole playbook. I called my lawyer. He sighed, said he could file an injunction, but the court wouldn't open till Monday. "If they start demolition Sunday," he said, "we're out of options." I was beat. Sitting there on the dock that afternoon, surrounded by Ellie's paintings, my grandfather's old tools, coffee mugs we never cleaned because they held too many stories. And then it hit me. Ellie once joked, years ago, that if the boathouse could float, it'd be a vessel. And vessels, well, those follow maritime law, not HOA rules. That joke became my lifeline. I checked the foundation. My granddad had built it to float, back when seasonal flooding was a problem. It had been anchored to land with chains, but the structure itself, still seaworthy, with a little help. I started making calls. Mike from the marina owed me for fixing his yacht engine. Tommy had welding gear and a torch. Sarah ran a crane and could handle rigging. Within hours, we were hauling flotation barrels and foam, reinforcing the base, unhooking plumbing lines, sealing up anything that would sink us. Denise's porch light stayed on all night. I bet she thought we were packing to move. Nope. At sunrise, 10 minutes before the demolition crew arrived, the last chain snapped with a crack like a gunshot, and the boathouse, Ellie's boathouse, slid off the land and into the lake like a sleeping giant waking up. The demolition guy walked up, confused. "We can't demolish something that ain't on land," he muttered. "That's federal water." Denise lost it, screaming about refunds, threatening to sue the demolition company. They just handed her a bill for $3,000 for the early morning call-out and left. I floated that boathouse right to the center of the lake, anchored it legally, and waved to Denise as she fumed from the shore. Couple days later, Marine Patrol showed up. Said they'd gotten a complaint about an illegal structure. I handed them the paperwork, license number, and boat registration. It was all legit. "Between you and me," the officer said, glancing toward Denise's deck, "this is the third false report this week. We're about to start charging her for wasting our time." Now here's the kicker. Denise tried to sue me, again. Claimed I stole her furniture. Her lawyer, some guy named Morrison, demanded I return her property or face criminal charges. Said her things were worth $5,000. Oddly specific, right? I invited them to a video call, set up my laptop with the lake in the background, played security footage, Denise moving in, tossing Ellie's photo, making live streams promising parties and rentals, showed emails, forged documents, even a quote where she bragged, "Once it's mine, I'll redecorate with pastel blue, more modern." Morrison looked like he'd swallowed a lemon. "Mr. Brennan," he asked quietly, "what do you want?" I told him I'd already filed police reports. Breaking and entering, trespassing, falsifying documents. I had her belongings in storage, ready to return, once the police finished their investigation. Denise started yelling about her rights as HOA president until Morrison muted her mid-rant. 48 hours later, she resigned from the HOA. The boathouse? It's now registered as a historic vessel, legally protected, untouchable. That evening, I sat on the deck with a beer in one hand and Ellie's photo back on the table, watching the water glow gold under the setting sun. Across the lake, Denise's house stood dark and empty. But you know what she didn't realize? Her entire live stream, all her rants, threats, and that lovely quote about stealing for the greater good, had been recorded. By the time I finished my beer, over 47,000 people had already seen it. Justice? Yeah, served. But now I want to hear from you. Was I right to take matters into my own hands? Or should I have let the system run its course? Drop your thoughts below. Because in this neighborhood, apparently, even the lake has more backbone than the HOA board.